I did this the last time I was here. I'm gonna use one of Townes Van Zandt's songs as a thread to hold this whole thing together this morning. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a verse here, and then in a few minutes I'll do another verse, and later on I'll do another one, just so we can spread it out and really, truly enjoy it, you know. Ladies and gentlemen, Charlie Daniels down here in the front. He's a big fan of mine. He comes to all of my shows. Charlie, I love your stuff, brother. That devil went down to Georgia. That was a keeper right there. Maybe we can do it later together. I meant to say it yesterday. I saw you sitting out there. I'm like, my God, it's Charlie Daniels. Days up and down they come, like rain on a conga crumb. Forgetting most, remember some, and don't turn none away. Everything is not enough, and nothing is too much to bear. And all you get is good and gone, and all you keep is getting there. Oh, to live is to fly, both low and high. So shake the dust off of your wings and the sleep out of your eyes. Yeah, to live is to fly over low and high. Shake the dust off of your wings and the sleep out of your eyes. My soul you will save. Carry me back to the mountains, bury me in a hillbilly grave. Bury me in a hillbilly grave. Well, I never wanted to leave here. My they were deep and strong, but it makes no sense to be where all good hope is gone, and all good hope is gone. Made long shadows that hide a sinner well, but hiding is not living when you're living in living hell. And I've been living hell. So city, I pray my soul you will save. Carry me back to the mountains and bury me in a hillbilly grave. Bury me in a hillbilly grave. Now wondered about the things that might have been, but looking back is useless What's done is done, my friend. No, we can't go back again. So Lord, if I die in this city, I pray my soul you will save. Carry me back to the mountain and bury me in a hillbilly grave. Bury me in a hillbilly grave. If I had it all to do over, I think I'd use a knife instead. 'Cause the cold dark blade is silent, and they'd still be just as dead. Yeah, they'd still be just as dead. So Lord, if I die in this city, I pray my soul you will save. Carry me back to my mountains, Lord, and bury me in a hillbilly grave. Bury me in a hillbilly grave. Bury me in a hillbilly grave. Driving in back here behind the stage, rolled my window down to holler at some folks, and they said, "Asheville Turnaround." I said, "Coming up." Hold up, there you go, girl. It's a song I wrote about my buddy. He lived in Nashville, but his girlfriend was over in Asheville, which is 304.5 miles. Or it was to her front porch anyway. So the problem was he had a little 65 Chevy pickup that already had a bunch of miles on it. And it come every weekend he was making that Asheville Turnaround. I said, "Austin, you gonna make that Asheville Turnaround this weekend?" He said, "Yep, yep." He wore that little pickup. There was nothing but the floorboard left on it after all those trips over to see that girl in Asheville. He said, "I've been burning up the blacktop. I've been wearing out my tires. I got a rebuilt carburetor, man, I got brand new spark plug wires. I've been clutching and braking up these hills and down. Her good love keeps me making the Asheville Turnaround." I've been working like the Dickens, trying to make a living, just waiting for the week to end. I try to pay attention, but it's hard to keep from thinking about being in her arms again. Well, there ain't a woman finer than the one in Carolina at the top of Black Mountain Road. Friday comes around, I pour some coffee down, and buddy, I'm good to go. I keep burning up the blacktop, I keep wearing out these tires. I got spark plug wire. I've been a-clutching and breaking up these hills and down. Her good love keeps me making the Asheville turnaround. Now 304.5 miles one way puts me on her front porch step. I know what I got coming, kissing and a hugging about as good as any man can get. Well, for 2 days, 2 nights, everything's alright, happy as a hardwood tree. But then Sunday comes along, the only thing wrong, I got to rock on back to Tennessee. I've been burning up the blacktop, I've been wearing out my tire. I got a rebuilt carburetor, I got brand new spark plug wire. I've been clutching and breaking up these hills and down. Her good love keeps me making the Asheville turnaround. Yeah, she's the best thing I ever found, and that's why I make the Asheville turnaround. The Asheville turnaround. Best gal I ever found. I do the Asheville turnaround. I've been a clutching. You guys are too much fun, man.
No, you are.
Oh, man. And he's tempting me with gumbo up here. There's a tomcat in the alley scaring up a fight. And there's a mother softly kissing her little one's good night. There's peace and then there's chaos, reality and dreams. We're all trying to strike that balance between a whisper and a scream. Well, sometimes I need attention when you need left alone. And sometimes you feel like clinging when I feel like being gone. We might make love soft and tender, or we might make the rafters rain, just as long as we meet somewhere between a whisper and a scream. Well, I know you'll be listening. Don't you know I'll be there? Between a whisper and a scream, we'll find a prayer. Well, I used to blow up easy. I'd put my fist right through the wall, and you would shut down like a holiday, not feeling much at all. But we met there at the crossroads. We were going to extremes, but somehow we found each other between a whisper and a scream. Oh, thank God we found each other between a whisper and a scream. Man, there's so many situations these days where I hope that's working. I hope people are able to find each other somewhere between a whisper and a scream, because it seems like that's all there is a whisper or a scream. And, it'd be nice to just have a good average conversation, wouldn't it? I left a good job in the city, working for a man every night and day, but I never lost a minute of sleep, worrying about the way things might have been. Big wheels keep on turning. No, we're not going to do that. But hold that thought. Cause he was just like you, and just like me. He had his elbow out the window, he was rolling free. And in the blink of an eye, in the twisting of a lobe, in the middle of Proud Mary, he left the road. He saw the moments of his life pass before his eyes, every sin he'd ever sinned, and the day he was baptized. He saw his mother and his father, both beautiful and young, and every girl he'd ever kissed, especially that one. And he was just like you, just like me. He had his elbow out the window, rolling free. And in the blink of an eye, in the shifting of his load, in the middle of Proud Mary, he left the road. A long dark tunnel with a beautiful light. He didn't know where he was, but he knew it felt right. He saw his mother and his father. Oh, that ain't right. He saw a long dark tunnel with a beautiful light. He didn't know where he was, but he knew it felt right. He saw the wreck on the highway, way down below, and he was somewhere between body and soul. And he was just like you, and just like me. He had his elbow out the window, he was rolling free. And in the blink of an eye, in the shifting of his load, in the middle of Proud Mary, he saw his mother at the ironing board, and his daddy at the mill, and they both stopped what they were doing, and they both felt the chill. Thank you. That's what I'm here for. We've all got holes to fill, and them holes are all that's real. Sometimes they fall on you like a storm, and sometimes you dig your own. The choice is yours to make, the time is yours to take. Some sail upon the sea, some toil upon the stone. But to live is to fly, both low and high. So shake the dust off of your wings and the sleep out of your eyes. Oh, to live is to fly, both low and high. To shake the dust off of your wings and the sleep out of your eyes. Once I was a Christian, and I lived upon this earth. And I died and went to heaven, where I got my second birth. And then I came back as an acorn, and I grew to be a tree. And I made a mighty shade when the sun came down on me. And in one life I was an outlaw. I lived up in the hills. I'd run the alcohol to the buyers from the stills. At 100 miles an hour on a downhill mountain road, I just turned into a white dove and I let go of my load. And then the last time I came through here, I was a summer wind. And I whispered on your wheat fields and I called a cool rain in. And I carried all your laughter and your sweet old fiddle tunes. I carried them right up through the rafters and I sang them to the harvest moon. Once I was a singer, and music was my church. And I put myself through hell, trying to write the perfect verse. So I came back as a chorus, that's the best part of the song. 'Cause all your friends remember and they all sing along. Like the Christian and the outlaw, and like that summer wind, and like a singer to the chorus, I will come back again. Like a singer to the chorus, I will come back again. with myself on the highway at night. I was driving like a bat out of hell when I beheld an amazing sight. It was a lonely apparition by the roadside, standing there with his thumb out in the wilderness and a halo in his hair. And he said, "Give me a ride to heaven, boys, and I'll show you paradise." He said, "Give me a ride to heaven, son, my name is Jesus Christ." Well, I come to a screeching halt. I said, "Hop on in." He said, "Thanks a lot, son, for the lift. I'm gonna forgive you of your sins." He said, "I just come from Jerusalem where things are going bad." He said, "Give me a ride to heaven, son. I need to talk to my dad." Yeah, he said, "Give me a ride to heaven, boy, and I will show you paradise." Give me a ride to heaven, son. My name is Jesus Christ. Oh! Well, I didn't know quite what to do, so I jammed her down in gear. I kind of kicked my feet beneath the seat. I was trying to hide the beer. But he just grinned and he said, "My friend, I know you might think this is odd, but you got nothing to fear about drinking a beer if you share it with the Son of God." He said, "Give me a ride to heaven, boy, and I'll show you paradise." He said, "Give me a ride to heaven, son, you know my name is Jesus Christ." Oh! Right in the middle of that perfect grin, from his robes he pulled a gun. And he stuck it up beside my head and said, "How's this for kingdom come?" Well, I pulled all scared and I heard him say as he left me there beneath the stars, he said, "The Lord moves in mysterious ways, my son. And tonight, He's gonna use your car." He said, "Give me a ride to heaven and I'm gonna show you paradise. Give me a ride to heaven, man, my name is Jesus Christ." He said, "Give me a ride to heaven, son, and I will show you paradise. Give me a ride to heaven, man, my name is Jesus Christ." You know, my wife does a lot of, she does a lot of short films and documentaries and stuff like that. And I make her hire me to write music for some of that stuff, you know, and I love doing that. It's great fun. And we were talking one day. We were looking at, she's toyed with the idea of writing a screenplay. And we had a book there on the coffee table that tells you how to go about writing a screenplay, you know. And it's a lot like writing a song. You basically, you just sort of set the scene and you tell the camera what to do and how to light it and everything. And I started thinking, well, I'm going to write a screenplay in a song. And that's what this is. So you just think of this like you got the screenplay opened up in front of you on the desk there and you're reading it. And this is what it's going to say. Fade in, opening scene, boy and a girl on a split screen. His eyes blue, her skin brown, different world, same town. Close up on her pretty face. No shit. Oh, here we go. All right, let's do that again. Yeah. See, so anybody that's filming, you can edit. Yeah. See, I know about all this film shit. My wife has taught me you can stop and edit and put it back together. Fade in, opening scene, boy and a girl, split screen. His eyes blue, her skin brown, different world, but the same town. Close up on her pretty face, she's trying to get her lipstick straight. Cut to him with his motor running, a clean white shirt, you can see what's coming. Somewhere along about the second reel, somebody's gonna make a sweetheart deal. Soundtrack, dance beat, carnival on the main street. Brown skin, seats, white shirt, heads turn, it's the big flirt. Eyes meet, music gets loud, and he pulls her out of the crowd. There's the look and the look back, the big kiss and the fade to black. Cue the moon behind the Ferris wheel, it looks like somebody just made a sweetheart deal. Story, moral is whatever, it's all showbiz. Everybody's lucky, nobody gets hurt. It's just a little lipstick on a clean white shirt. Don't let them tell you it's too good to be real. Every now and then you make a sweetheart deal. Roll credits. Screenplay written and adapted by Verlon Thompson. Brown shirt played by Verlon Thompson. No, let's see, white shirt played by brown skin played by Demetria Kaladimos. This is kind of like a movie too. This next song, it was like a movie when I was living it, really. When I was about 13 years old, I got hired to plow, drive a tractor and plow for this old farmer up the road. And this farmer had had a beautiful daughter. Don't they all? But no, she was something special. And she was about, I'm going to say 3 years older than I was. So, you know, that just added a little hot spice to the whole mix. But this girl would come walking across, no, this girl would come floating across that plowed ground every day at noon. Straight up noon, I could see her coming, and she would have my lunch, a little sack with a sandwich in it, and a little wide-mouthed jar filled with iced tea. And she would bring me that lunch every day at noon, and I could not wait for that moment every day. In fact, I would get on that tractor as the sun was coming up, and I would immediately start thinking to myself, now, what can I do to really impress her? I want to be cool because I want to sweep her off of her feet. She'll climb on this tractor and we'll roll off into the sunset while the credits roll. I could just see it. It was so perfect. I had it all figured out. But the truth is, every time she approached that tractor, I'd turn the old engine off, and then I would just sit there frozen, stiff. I choked up. I couldn't even speak to the girl. I could make some noises, that kind of guttural groans and such, but of course this didn't turn her on at all. She rolled her eyes, and she was kind enough to stick around till I finished my lunch, and then she'd take the leftovers and head back to the house. And so nothing really ever become of that whole deal. I'm not sure even where she is today. I heard she turned out ugly as sin, and no, I didn't. I'm sure she's still just as beautiful as she was then. And I'm not sure why I actually told you that story, because this song is not about that. I just feel the need to talk about it. It's been bothering me since I was 13 years old. And y'all are the only ones I can get to listen. So thanks for listening. No, this song is sort of, it's not about me and that girl, but it's about another guy and another girl, and another unrequited love situation between an old boy that ain't nothing but a hired hand and his boss's daughter. You know, there's nothing sweeter than drawing a dipper of good, clean, cold water from a hand-dug well. And there's nothing harder than raking alfalfa and waiting around for the sound of the noon dinner bell. That's when I'd take off my old straw hat and go up to the big house where we'd all gather round under the elm tree to soak up some shade and eat some good country cooking, and if I was real lucky, well, she might even look at me. She was strawberry hair, she was blue ocean eyes, she was lilac, she was clover, and I bet good money she was sweet as honey 10 times over. Oh, but it's always back to the fields to work like the dickens till they'd come pick us up of a late afternoon, and if I could get me a good enough seat up on that wagon, well, I might even get to smell her roses' perfume. She was strawberry hair, she was blue ocean eyes, she was lilac, she was clover, and I bet all my money she was sweet as honey 10 times over. At least that's what I wrote on this folded up note that I kept in the bib of my overalls. Bunch of pretty words I was saving for when I got brave and went up to that big house to pay her a call. Which I did one evening with some fresh cut flowers. I had my hair slicked back, I had my shoes all shine. I never imagined, I never even considered that she might be in any arms other than mine. I was stabbed in the heart, kicked in the gut. At least I might as well have been, because you see, the windows were open and the curtains were blowing, and I'm sorry now that I ever looked in. I jumped off the porch and I went back down the hill to where that little footbridge goes over the stream. I watched that folded up note and those fresh flowers float away with the rest of my dreams. Yeah, and I never said nothing to the boys at the bunkhouse, 'cause hell, they don't know the first thing about love. And to this day, not a word's passed between me and her, and I still don't know who he was. Still ain't nothing sweeter than drawing that dipper of good, clean, cold water from that old hand-dug well. But these days I don't get near as excited about hearing the sound of that noon dinner bell. Oh man, you can't go wrong with stories of unrequited love, because we've all been there. When I was a young man, my daddy told me a lesson he learned a long time ago. He said, if you want to have someone to hold on to, you're gonna have to learn to let go. And you got to sing like you don't need the money. You gotta love like you'll never get hurt. You got to dance, dance, dance like nobody's watching. You gotta come from the heart if you want it to work. But there's just this one thing that I keep forgetting. When everything starts falling apart, you know, in life and in love, we all need to remember that there's such a thing as trying too hard. You got to sing like you don't need the money and love like you'll ever get hurt. You got to dance like nobody's watching. You gotta come from the heart if you want it to work. Yeah, you got to sing like you don't need the money and love like you'll never get hurt. You got to dance, dance, dance like nobody's watching. You gotta come from the heart if you want it to work. You better come from the heart if you want it to work. That song was written by an old boy named Richard Leigh. Richard Leigh also wrote Don't It Make My Brown Eyes Blue for Crystal Gale, which he wrote about his dog. Apparently he had a husky, I believe it was, and one eye was blue and one eye was brown. And he said his dog was sitting there staring up at him one day for the longest time, and he started writing, "Don't it make my brown eye blue?" So that's old Richard Leigh, and me and Guy Clark were sitting around one day. We were missing Richard Leigh because his wife had sent him away. Not sent him away. Well, yeah, she sent him away. But it was a birthday gift. She gave him a month-long course in learning how to build wooden sailboats. And so he went up to Maine, and he was up there learning how to build boats. And Guy and I started missing Richard, and we started working on this song. And it was going to be sort of a tribute to Richard, you know. Well, it took us longer than we thought. We had a couple of verses of it, and Richard came home, and I heard about it, and I went over to see what was going on, and turns out when Richard got home from Maine, all of his stuff was thrown out of the house and out in the driveway, and his wife had run off with somebody else, and it was not a pretty picture. So I ran back to Guy real quick, and I said, "Guy, we need to just forget about this song about Richard, because it's not good what's happening over there." And Guy just looked at me and said, "Oh, hell, Verlon." Said, "Richard's going to wind up with a damn fine sailboat, and me and you going to have a pretty good song. What the hell?" Well, it's time for a change. Tired of the same old the same old words, the same old rhymes, the same old tricks and the same old lines. And the days, the precious days, man, they roll in and out like waves. I got boards to mend, I got planks to nail, I got charts to make, and I've got seas to sail. I'm gonna build me a boat with these two hands, a fair curve from an noble plan. I'll let the chips fall where they will, 'cause I've got boats to build. Sails are just like wings. It's the wind, that's what makes them sing. Songs of life, songs of hope, songs to keep your dreams afloat. I'm gonna build me a boat with these two hands, a fair curve from a noble plan. I'll let the chips fall where they will, 'cause I've got boats to build. So we finished writing this song, and guy decided he liked it enough to put it on his next record. And not only that, when he got in there and got to recording it, he listened back to it a few times and he said, I'm going to make this the title of the record. The record's called Boats to Build. And I can't tell you what a thrill that was to be sitting in the studio and hear a song that you'd just written with Guy Cart coming out of the big speakers. And know that it was going to be the title of the record. I was going to call my mama. I was going to call her and I was going to tell her, Mom, it can't get no better than this. But this was back before cell phones and I got distracted, so I didn't call my mom. But I'm kind of glad I didn't, because there was more to this. Guy's record came out and it did really well, and a few months passed and we got a phone call. It was from Jimmy Buffett's people. And Jimmy Buffett's people said that Jimmy himself wanted to record this song with Alan Jackson and do a duet. And they did, and it sold 2 million copies. And I was going to call my mama and say, Mama, it don't get no better than this, but I got distracted again. I never did call her. But it's okay, things are meant to be like that, because there was even more to this story. Not long after that, I got called to go over to Scotland to lead a songwriting workshop for a bunch of folks over there. We got to live in a castle for a week and write songs, and it went so well, I told everybody, I said, hey, it's Sunday morning, we're going to church. We gathered everybody up and we found this little tiny country church, not as big as this stage hardly, out there in the hills of Scotland. And we went in there and we getting ready to hear the preacher, and the little side door over here opens up. And you see the little silhouette come through the side door. A little gray-haired woman, perfectly dressed with a matching handbag, matching earrings. Ladies and gentlemen, the Queen of England had walked into this little country church. And to make it even better, the preacher got up there and he said, hey y'all, he said, I know some of you local folks have seen me walking around. He said, I keep a little surfboard hanging on my belt loop, a miniature surfboard. He said, that's so to remind me to catch the wave and go out and offer help to folks that need it, and that wave of inspiration. And he said, but I heard an old boy singing last night over at this little benefit concert, and he said, I've decided today I'm going to get rid of my little surfboard and I'm going to build me a boat. He said, I need a boat to catch that wave and go help those folks. And while he's saying all this, I'm looking over there at the Queen of England. And I thought, when I get out of here, I'm calling my mama and I'm going to tell her. It don't get no better than this. Shores, distant shores, you see there, that's what I'm headed for. I'll let the stars guide my way and sail into the light of day. I'm gonna build me a boat with these two hands, a fair curve from an oval plan. Let the chips fall where they will, 'cause yes, I've got boats to build. Goodbye to all my friends, it's time to go again. Think of all the poetry and the picking down the line. I'll miss the system here. The bottom's low and the treble's clear, but it don't pay to think too much on the things you leave behind. Oh, to live is to fly, both low and high. Shake the dust off of your wings and the sleep out of your eyes. I'd love for y'all to sing it with me. Oh, to live is to fly, both low and high. So shake the dust off of your wings and the sleep out of your eyes. Yeah, to live is to fly, both low and high. So shake the dust off of your wings and the sleep out of your eyes. Is to fly both low and high. So shake the dust off of your wings and the sleep out of your eyes. Hey, thank y'all very much. I love you. It's so good to be back home again in Suwannee Spring.